They called it the most dangerous job in the war, a mission so risky that most men didn't survive their first few weeks. But one pilot defied the odds. This is the true story of Gail Halvorsen, the man who dropped more than just supplies from the sky. He dropped hope in the form of candy, and his actions helped save an entire city from despair, without firing a single bullet. After World War II ended in 1945, Germany was split into zones. Berlin, the capital, was divided too even, though it lay deep inside Soviet-controlled territory. Tensions grew quickly between the Soviet Union and the Allied powers. Then, in 1948, the Soviets made their move. They blocked all land access to West Berlin, trying to starve the population into over 2 million people were trapped. No food, no fuel, no supplies. But the Allies had one option left: the Berlin Airlift. Planes would fly over enemy lines every day to drop supplies into West Berlin. It was a massive, dangerous operation. Pilots flew in freezing conditions, facing constant mechanical failures and zero room for error. Among these pilots was an American named Gail Halvorsen. He flew cargo planes packed with flour, powdered milk, fuel essentials for survival. But one day, something small changed everything. After a supply drop, Halvorsen noticed a group of German children standing behind a barbed wire fence, watching the planes. They didn't beg. They didn't complain. They just stood there, quietly hopeful. Halvorsen reached into his pocket and gave them 2 sticks of chewing gum. The children tore the wrappers into pieces and passed them around, just to smell the candy. That moment hit him hard. Back at base, he came up with a wild idea. What if he dropped candy from his plane? What if, along with food and coal, he delivered a little piece of happiness? So, he started tying candy bars and chewing gum into little parachutes made of Every time he flew over the city, he would wiggle the wings of his plane so the children would know it was him, and then he'd drop the candy. It started with one man, but when word spread, other pilots joined in. People from the US began mailing candy, chocolate, and handkerchiefs to the airbase, just so they could keep it going. Soon, thousands of parachutes floated over Berlin. The children called him Uncle Wiggly Wings. To them, he wasn't just a pilot. He was a hero. He brought joy in a time of darkness. He reminded them they hadn't been forgotten. Gail Halvorsen didn't have to do it. Nobody ordered him. He took a risk because he believed in something greater than the mission. He believed in humanity. The Berlin Airlift lasted for nearly a year. Hundreds of thousands of flights kept the city alive. And in the middle of all that danger, Halvorsen's candy drops became a symbol of hope. Decades later, when he visited Germany as an old man, adults who had once been those children came to meet him. Some cried, some brought their own children. They remembered every piece of chocolate, every moment of joy. To them, he was more than a memory, he was a miracle. Halvorsen passed away in 2022, but his legacy lives on. A legacy built not with guns or bombs, but with compassion, with small acts that changed hearts during the Cold War. And sometimes, that's the kind of courage the world needs most. If this story inspired you, leave a comment and let us know. What does true heroism mean to you? And don't forget to subscribe because we're just getting started with more powerful, real stories from the battlefield and beyond.